Look who arrived. A little friend, the youngest View Askew fan, I would say.
Yeah.
This is Vincent Jr., Vincent's child. Really, this is my kid.
Actually is.
This is mine. This is Harley. Say hello. She's far more interested in Vincent right now. And she's here to help us introduce a cut sequence that talks about, ironically enough, abortion.
Yep.
This sequence is what exactly?
Well, it's the lead into it is a longer version of Bethany in church, which has some really funny dialogue from the priest, which then goes into a very long sequence which gives Bethany's backstory, which is a little lost in the final film. It's there, but it's brushed over much more quickly.
It talks about a botched abortion.
Yeah, yeah. So we learn much more of Bethany's backstory and sort of the reason why she sort of has fallen from the church.
See, I didn't pay much attention while we were making the picture. I always refer back to Vincent, who paid an awful lot of attention. Me, I was too busy making this.
Yeah.
So watch this next sequence. If I'm covering a corporate logo here, so that'll probably be blurred. But watch this next sequence, and we'll come back and discuss it with Harley Quinn, who I'm sure we'll have lots of good insight and takes on the subject matter.
Of abortion.
Of abortion.
Yes.
The Greater Illinois chapter of the Right to Life Foundation will be holding its biannual softball game against the Cook County Pro-Choice League next Sunday at 2. Those who find the weekly demonstration outside of the 12th Street Planned Parenthood Clinic hard to make due to work schedules are urged to show their support in the fight against the thoughtless and wanton destruction of life by cheering on our boys on the field. Today's second collection will be donated to the John Doe Jersey Life Fund. For those of you who haven't been following the news, an unidentified homeless man who was accosted and severely beaten at the New Jersey shore last Tuesday lies in critical but stable condition in one of that area's hospitals. He lacks identification, and police have had no luck tracking down any possible family. Now, while he shows no signs of recovery, the Archbishop of the Trenton Diocese has disputed the state's decision to remove the indigent man from life support systems, asking that Catholics all over the country join in this protest against euthanasia. And finally, will whoever keeps parking in my spot stop doing that? Thank you. Well, now please rise for the recession of faith.
We believe in one God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, of all that is seen and unseen.
I don't really want to be here.
Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord. Fair enough. A time and place you'd rather be.
You like a shrink or something?
Would that I make what a shrink makes, but alas, yo-ho, yo-ho, a counselor's life for me. So come on, humor me. Any time, any place, where would you rather be right at this moment?
Back at the night, my stupid boyfriend swore up and down he was sterile.
And you believed him?
I don't know. Made sense at the time. He has one of those crooked dicks.
So, let me see. Now, this is your, what? Third time? All right. Let's say we skip the lecture as long as you promise to use condoms and go on the pill in the future.
If I take the pill, I gain weight.
What? I never heard of such a thing. I have to call the AMA right now about the shocking new medical development. I used to feel the same way. I wouldn't go on the pill because it made me blow up. Take my word for it, though. It's worth the 5 extra pounds.
Yeah, like I'd even notice on you.
You would if I were still on it.
What do you use now?
I don't.
You don't use anything? You? Why not?
That's a very personal and very boring story I don't feel like I know you well enough to subject you to.
Oh, come on. I want to hear your sad tale of woe. Who knows, you might tell me something so scary I'll never have to make this trip again.
Okay. But feel free to nod out. You know these girls who dated the same guy all through school? Well, I was one of them. Brett Waits. We were in love. So there we are, away at school, and suddenly there's no parents to worry about anymore. So we're screwing like rabbits, just constantly doing it. And since I'm not on the pill, since the pill makes me gain weight, guess what happened?
You wound up getting pregnant.
I tell my boyfriend, and you know what he says?
Tells you to get an abortion.
Begs me to have it.
Get out of here.
He's suddenly filled with the desire to be a family man. He's telling me we should quit school and get married. I'm telling him that that'll screw up our educations. We fought about it for a week. And to make matters worse, he cornered me with an ultimatum. Either I was going to have this baby or we were breaking up.
What a scumbag.
He's even got the Planned Parenthood all staked out. His RA's mother works there, so if I go in, I'm cut.
Why didn't you just dump his ass?
I was in love with him. So, it's an old story, but I started asking around about alternatives to Planned Parenthood, and as it turned out, a girl in my sorority had a cousin in med school, second year. And before I know it, there's me in 1981 on the receiving end of what could be considered a slightly more advanced wire hanger abortion. All because I'm in love with my boyfriend. So, it goes off without a hitch. I tell him I miscarried. He nurses me for 2 weeks because I was feeling really sick. I figured it was the guilt. It takes everything I have to keep from telling him the truth. But after a while, the lie becomes the truth. I miscarried. That was that. After graduation, we got married, and we immediately set about trying to have kids. We tried like hell for the first 6 months, but nothing happened. I went to the gynecologist to see if everything was okay on my end. It wasn't. It seems the instruments the med school student was using weren't as clean as they could have been. That sickness I was feeling wasn't guilt. It was this infection which, over the course of 4 or 5 years, had left my uterus completely unable to sustain life. I'd never be able to have a child. I unload on my husband through my tears. He just stares at me through his. And in the calmest, most rational voice I've ever heard anybody use, he asks me for a divorce. And I fought him on it, I told him there were alternatives. Like, we could adopt. But all he said was he wanted a woman who could have his children. He remarried. He had 2 kids in 2 years with his new wife. And we never spoke again. And I started working for Planned Parenthood. Interesting postscript to that story. The med school student, he dropped out of school 2 weeks after my abortion. Turns out he couldn't stand the sight of blood. He sells shoes in Monticello. The 5 pounds will go straight to your boobs, making you a god in your boyfriend's eyes. Trust me. Take the 5